Alright, today we're going to start working on repairing this image. As you can see, it's been badly torn, but we're going to fix that. So we're going to go up to our menu here, and most of them will look like this, which is your quick selection tool. If you hold down on that, you'll get your magic wand tool, which is what you're wanting. You can go up here and select the white area. If for some reason it doesn't select the entire thing, like now it didn't, you can hold shift and click and get the rest of that selected. We're going to go up to select up at the top in your menu right here, and we're going to go down and it's going to say inverse. We're going to click that. We're going to go over at the top of your menu here. You'll see something that says refine edge. I'm going to click unclick sample all layers. We're going to click refine edge. So we're going to push feather just a bit, and then we're going to shift our edge over to about 83. So it'll look like this. And we're going to push OK. Alright, now that we've got that it's still selected and all these pieces are selected, we're going to go to copy, and then we're going to go up to edit and push paste in place. And if we turn off this background layer here, you'll see it's got little blocks where all these white areas were. And that's just to make it easier to look at, we're going to go down here to this circle. We're going to create a solid color. And we're going to click white and push OK. Then we're going to go back over here to our layers and turn our background layer on. We're going to turn off this block here, which locks your background and keeps you from deleting it and things like that. We're going to turn that off. We're going to push shift and click the color fill layer. So now these are both selected. And we're going to push this thing that looks like a file folder down here. And this is going to put that in a group for you, which is kind of what we want. All right. Let's get started working on the image itself. What we're going to do is we're going to actually take each one of these pieces and stick them in a new layer. So we're going to go over here to our lasso tool, and we're going to start selecting each section. So let's start selection right here. I moved. You kind of have to do this in all one little stroke here. All right. I'm going to clean that up just a hair right here. I want it as close to that edge as I can get it. All right. And now that I've got that selected, I'm going to go up to edit. I'm going to go to cut. So it cuts that out. Go to edit. I'm going to go paste in place. And what that does is, as you can see, it puts it on a new layer by itself, which will allow us to move that. So I'm going to show you right quick how to move that, and then we'll go on to doing the other ones. I would go up here to this cross that looks, it's got cross with the arrows on it. That's your move tool. And I'm going to make sure I'm on that layer with that one. And that allows you to move things. See, as we move it over, it's a little closer to fitting. So Anyways, let's go back to getting these all in separate layers. Okay, this will be the next one we do. All right, I'm going to clean this one up as well some. And the reason I'm doing this is it's going to cause me less cleanup later. To just kind of clean these up now. And what I'm doing to clean these up, I guess I should tell you this, is we select with the lasso tool because it's just quicker. But this quick selection tool, if you click it, it's got a minus, which will take away from your selection, or a positive, which will add, make your selection a little bigger. So now that we've got that selected, pretty much all the edges, it's really close. I'm going to go up to Edit, Cut. See how little is left there? And then we're going to Paste Special, Paste and Place, and that's putting it in a new layer there. See? All right, so last two. I'm going to turn off those top two layers because it's just going to make it easier for me to see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go back down to this bottom layer. All right, so we're going to go back to our lasso tool. And I'm just going to select that section. All right, and I'm going to make a few adjustments right here. I said this is just going to keep me from having to clean up a lot once I get these moved around. And that's pretty close. So we're going to go up to Edit, Cut, Edit, Paste Special, Paste and Place. And that one, put that one on a new layer. And even though this one's on its own layer, I still want to pull it to a separate layer so I can get rid of all of this mess up here. The little bit of leftovers that are left over from the other. Okay, so what I'm going to do, back to my lasso tool, and I'm going to start selecting this. I missed a section there, but I will clean that up. All right, so we got this selected, but let me go ahead and clean this up some. And I don't know what happened. We lost it, so we get to do it again. Okay. And back here, I'm going to turn the size down some so it'll be easier. I still did. We're just going to use the lasso tool on this one. It's got all this other stuff and it's really difficult to keep it from jumping around. I said I was, and then I didn't. I didn't get close enough. So we're just going to have to do with as close as we can get on this one, which this I'm going to probably remove anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. It's mostly right here in his face. There. So we're going to go up to Edit. Let's be on the right layer. That may have been our problem to begin with. And see, even people that use Photoshop, there are times that we forget to do things, or we have little small missteps. There. Cut, and we're going to paste special, just like we did the others, and now that's in a new layer itself. And then we've got this layer here. Turn that off. That's got just mess on it. So I'm going to delete that layer and go to the right layer. And I'm just going to delete that layer. And the reason is it's just mess. We really don't need it. And I'm going to start turning on these other layers so that we can see them. See, our photo is still there. The next thing we're going to do, like I showed you before, is we're going to start moving these. So I'm going to choose layer 2, which is this piece here. I'm going to go up to our move tool. It's got artboard and move tool, but we're going to go to the move tool. And we're going to just start moving this over. Those of you that use a tablet, I really suggest using your keyboard on this one. You're going to get a closer and cleaner fix if you do. But that's what I would suggest. And I may even rotate that just a hair to see if we can get a little bit closer. I don't think we can though. Okay. See, it starts like making more there, so we want to get about there, which most of the white's still up here, but it makes this hair a little bit better there. So I'm not going to move this one, this layer 3 here. I'm not going to move, and the reason is because if I do, it's going to create a bigger gap, I think, here. We could try maybe to tilt it a little bit, but I don't think it's really going to make much of a difference. I think it's better right where it's at. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Alright, so let's go down to our bottom 2 layers, because this is going to make our face. So the layer that I'm working with right now is this layer. So I want to zoom down to where I can see that and the layer above it. So I'm just going to start moving it. In place, which that looks pretty good. And then I'll go to the next layer. And I will start moving it in place. And a lot of what I'm trying to do is line up these facial features, because that's really going to help us. Lining up his hair and his hairline, his shirt, all of that is going to help us clean this photo up. So that looks really good. So that's where I'm going to leave it. This group 1 that we created earlier, I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to tell you why. We need all of this now on the same layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to layer here, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says merge visible. See, this one's not visible, so it's not going to merge it with it. So that looks good. It looks a lot better than it did. We went from that, you know, we went a lot further. We went from that to that. So it really has helped quite a bit. So let's zoom in and start taking care of this problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my clone tool. I'm going to make it a little bigger so it's easier to work with, because we've got all that mess. And then I'm going to start cloning it out. So I'm going to push Alt and click just to get my clean source there. And I'm going to start cleaning this up. And notice I've got my flow down, and that's just to kind of help everything blend a little better. And see how it's trying to clone that in. We don't want that. And we could actually go in and do some spot healing and some of this so that we're not cloning in those bad areas. Because it just makes it messier and more that you end up cleaning up in the long run. So I'm just going to go and do this right quick. You can clone them out as well, but sometimes it just tries to duplicate them, which is a pain. So I'm going to scroll down and do some of these down here too, because we're going to be cloning around it. Right, that's a lot better. Makes it a lot cleaner and easier to work with. Probably work a lot faster too. Okay. So let's scroll up. See, it's already looking and kind of fitting together a lot better. So let's go on and go back to our clone tool. We're going to just start cloning this out. And even cloning close up to his hair. And I will get down smaller to get really close into there. But right now I'm just trying to take care of these major areas. Like this. Okay. All right. So this is already looking a lot better. So we're going to go in and kind of get a little smaller, clean up these areas around his hair some. And I'm starting to see a pattern, and I don't like that, but we're going to fix that in a minute. Okay, so that's cleaned his hair up some. I want to clean it up a little bit more, but the next tool we're going to use, we're going to go up to here where it looks like the Band-Aid. And this is where we got our spot healing brush. We're going to scroll down to the patch tool. We're going to show you why that one's so great. I can just circle these lines and kind of pull them down or up to the area that I want. And it just cleans those right up without a lot of fuss. And it just makes it a little cleaner, like when we do this. Let's see, it's already starting to look a lot better. I'm also going to do some of this in this patterned area. Just to keep it from looking like that. All right, so then we're going to work on these areas on his face where we can really get it to look a lot better. All right, so let's zoom in and and start cleaning this up. And I'm going to avoid that eye because I'm going to clean that up in a different way. And I will show you that in just a moment. And this is already starting to look a lot better. It's looking a lot more natural, like a photograph should. Okay, so we got most of his face cleaned up. Let me get this little area here, which is his eyebrow. And I kind of want to just bring that over. All right, so we got most of his face cleaned up. We need to work on his chin a little bit. And maybe that eye, and get that eye straightened up. So let's go up to the eye. And we're going to go over to the clone stamp. I'm going to actually take this size down quite significantly. So it's kind of small. And then if you don't have this over here in this side, go up to window. And you can go to, I believe it's clone source. Yes. And it'll pop that window up for you. I just keep mine over there on the side because I use it pretty regularly. So we're going to do this button right here that flips it. That. I'm going to scoot in. I'm actually going to take it down a little bit more. And I'm going to push Alt. And with that. And I'm going to go over here and clean this up. And if we zoom out now, that looks correct. So we're not going to mess with that too much more. Okay, the next thing we're going to work on is going to be his lips. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to turn that flip off. I'm going to go in here and press Alt and clean this up. Alright, so it's already looking better. His mouth is looking better. And we're going to fix, I don't like this line right there, so I'm going to try to fix some of that. And just give that a little more, I don't like that. I like that better like that. Just give that a little more natural appearance. Alright, and then we're going to go down here. Make this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to start cloning this in. Okay. All right. So this is what it looks like now. All right. And then we're going to start cleaning up this shirt. Let me tell you, when you have patterned shirts, it's never fun to do the cleanup because you're trying to keep with the patterns and it doesn't always want to work with you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish cleaning this up. Love the pattern work. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to clone this part of this out because it just makes it easier. I'm just going to clean up. This shirt line a little bit. Because I just think it looks better like that. And it's a little less to clean up. So I actually want a rougher edge here. So I'm going to turn my hardness up. There. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning these lines up now. So I need a much smaller brush. Much, much smaller. About there. And I'm just going to clone these out. Okay. Alright, so that's a lot better than it was. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to this spot healing brush. I'm going to take it down a little bit. Actually, this is not the last thing I'm going to do. I've got a few more things to do. And I'm just going to start cleaning his face up some. So it has a little more smooth appearance. And I want to kind of clean that up, but I've got too big of a brush and I need to zoom in. His chin. Okay, and I want to clean up. that little area there. Alright, so as you can tell, that looks a lot better. I'm going to patch this because I can see where there's a difference, and I'm just going to bring that over, kind of blend that a little bit more. Because it just helps. Alright, so this photo is pretty much done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to combine all my layers. And then I'm going to come over here to where it looks like a crazy little box, and I'm going to crop this image down. Like this. And then lastly, I might go up to the camera raw filter and just kind of adjust it a little bit. I'm going to take my clarity down a little bit and the luminance up just a tad. And I'm going to jump over and maybe play with the contrast a little bit. And I just like how that looks. It looks like a better image to me. I see a spot right here in his hair that that draws my eye that I don't like, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Maybe that'll help. It's a little better. Blur it a little bit. And it just looks too rough right there. Wrong tool. Okay. And that photo is done. So I'm going to save it. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG. I don't want it as a Photoshop. I want it as a JPEG. And we're going to save it as Boy Repaired. Just like that. Okay, so I want you to see what we went from to. This is original. I'm going to zoom this one out so you can see. Or said I was. I think I pushed the wrong button. Alright, this one's safe. So I'm going to close it. Alright, so we went from this to this. So to me, I mean, it looks better. So we've really done a number on this photo to help bring it back to life. So thank you for watching our video. You can always join us on Teach Me to Color. It's our Facebook group that helps our members learn to colorize old photos and repair old photos. If you have any questions, post them below or any comments. Thank you so much.